Let's learn how to multiply fractions. So in this video, what we have is we have multiplying and dividing fractions. So we'll begin by learning how to multiply fractions, and then we'll talk about how to divide fractions. Okay, so consider the fraction 6 over 11 multiplied with 7 over 8. Okay, so now, when you multiply these fractions, you might be tempted to multiply the 6 with the 7 and then get the answer, and then the 11 with the 8. But that's not the strategy I would like to show you. The strategy I would like to show you is how to reduce them first. What you want to understand out here is that you look for common factors between any numbers on the top and any numbers at the bottom, and then you want to cancel out the common factors, and then and only then you should multiply straight across. Okay, so take for example, so if I take a look at 6 out here and 8 down here, I can understand that 6 and 8 actually have a common factor of 2. So if I take that common factor of 2 and I divide 6 by 2, I get 3, and then I divide 8 by 2, I get 4. Okay, and now let's rewrite this so that we can see this clearly. So 3 over 11 times 7 over 4. Okay, and now I actually have all these numbers, they have nothing common to them. There's no common factor. Therefore, the next option is to just multiply across. So 3 times 7 over 11 times 4. 3 times 7 gives me 21, and 11 times 4 is 44. And that is how you multiply fractions. So 2 steps out here. Step 1 is going to be reduce by canceling common factors. Okay, and how do you cancel these common factors? You cancel the common factors by taking a look at any common factor that's in the numerator and cancel it out with the same common factor in the denominator. Okay, now if you don't have common factors, then of course you cannot do anything. Then you go to step 2, which is multiply across. Okay, and that's exactly what we did. So let's take a look at the next thing of dividing fractions. So dividing fractions is kind of a similar approach. There's only one little twist. So let's say I have to have 2 over 3, and I'm trying to divide it by 3 over 5. So I have a fraction divided by another fraction. So all you have to do is change the division sign into a multiplication sign. So 2 over 3 times. So I change this division sign into multiplication. And then when you do that, the fraction that follows the division sign gets flipped on its head, which means this becomes 5 over 3. Okay? And when you have that, now you go ahead and go back to step 1, reduce by canceling, and then step 2, multiply across. In this case, there are no common factors between the numerators and the denominators, so therefore we have to jump to step 2, which is multiply across. So therefore it's 2 times 5 over 3 times 3, which is 10 divided by 9. Okay, so now this brings us into the area of, as you can see, look at that answer. That's an improper fraction. Okay, so let me write that down, improper fraction. So therefore, this brings us into the area as well. I can convert that improper fraction to a mixed number. So if I convert that to a mixed number, I'm going to get 1 and 1 over 9. Okay, so that is my mixed number. Well, so now the question arises, well, how do I multiply mixed numbers? So let's take an example. So let's say 1 and 3 over 5, and I multiply this with 2 and 1 over 3. Two mixed numbers. They're multiplied together, okay? So my recommendation out here would be change the mixed number into a fraction. And that would be an improper fraction. So to change the first mixed number into an improper fraction, multiply the 1 with the 5, which gives me 5, and add the 3 to it, so that's 8. So this first mixed number becomes 8 over 5. And then the second mixed number becomes 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1, 7, divided by 3. So that's 7 over 3. Now we use the rules of multiplication that we talked about previously. Reduce by canceling if possible, and then multiply across. So we're going to see if there's any common factors out here. Turns out there's 5 and 3 and 7 and 8. Well, 8, if you take a look at the factors of 8, that's going to be 2 and 4 and 8. And so that nothing is common. So I have to skip to step 2 where I just multiply 8 and 7 and 5 times 3. So that gives me 56 over 15. And when I get that, now again, since I'm at an improper fraction, I can change that to a mixed number, which happens to be 3 and 11 over 15. Now feel free to pause the video and try to work this yourself to get to the right answers, okay? And that's pretty much what you need to do if you, so kind of let's review this real quick. So if you're multiplying and dividing fractions, well, two steps to follow. Step 1 is reduce by canceling common factors, and step 2 is multiply across, okay? And then if you're dividing, first you want to change the division sign into a multiplication, then flip this fraction on its head. And then follow the steps 1 and 2 to go ahead and multiply those fractions out. If you get an improper fraction, change it to a mixed number, okay, as your answer. And then finally, how do you multiply mixed numbers? Well, if I take two mixed numbers and I have to multiply them, I get, I want to change them to improper fractions first and then apply the rules of multiplication to get the answer. And I want to end on by just showing you how to divide mixed numbers, okay? So if you take, let's say, for example, if I take 10 over 9, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. If I take 1 and 1 over 9, and I'm trying to divide that by 2 and 1/3, okay? So then I'm going to get, for the 1 and 1 over 9, that gives me 10 over 9. And then for the 2 and 1/3, that's 7 over 3. And then I'm going to apply the regular rules of division. So I take the mixed number, change it into an improper fraction, then apply the rules of division. So multiply, change that to a multiplication, flip the second fraction on its head. At this point in time, see the 3 goes into 9 3 times, so that's a common factor. And now I'm going to multiply across. So 10 times 1 over 3 times 7. Note carefully, the 3 goes into itself 1 time. That's why I put the 1 out there, okay? And then multiply across. So that's 10 over 21. And that is the end of the story. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye.